So some people were asking me, how do you fix or identify fungus on a grass? Um, and I know because I had it in March. I bought my house 7, 8 months ago. Um, I put down a fertilizer, a high nitrogen fertilizer, like a starter fertilizer. I really had no idea what I was doing because I didn't really have a big yard when I bought my house. So in March, I put down a starter fertilizer. Grass was epic, looked amazing. So I thought I had to start watering in March. So I started watering and watering. And that one day, we had a very humid day in March. It was one day, all night. Well, of course, there was water on the grass leaf that was on there all night, and it caused me to get fungus um, everywhere. And I noticed where I started getting red thread everywhere on the grass, and I didn't know what it was. I started seeing these red, legit threads on the grass, spots everywhere, front yard, side yard, and then it became prominent in the backyard. And I had no idea what it was. And then I Googled it, looked it up, researched it. And here I am today. I know a lot about everything now, but so I didn't know what to do. So I was like, okay, well, is it because I'm overwatering? So then I figured out that it's because I was overwatering, and I shouldn't have been watering. And because I watered too early, and the water stayed on the top of the leaves during a humid day, and then at night it caused fungus. And once you have red thread, you have it always. You'll never get rid of it. It's going to always come back. So now I have it. Now what do? I have no idea what to do. Right away I just go out and I go buy a fungicide, Scott's fungicide. So I get it, and I put it down. And I read the back. I try doing what I had to do, and I put it down. But at this point, I already had it now. So it's not like I just got it and I had it now. It was prominent. So now I have it, and I put that stuff down. And I thought it'd be gone, come back green, but it didn't. So, and then the next day I put it down, and it rained. We had 3.5 inches. So now in my head I'm going, okay, well, it must have got diluted. It had to get diluted. There's no way you put it down today, and then that same day, because it says like you could let it get rained on within 24 hours. Well, we got 3.5 inches. So now in my head, it got diluted. So now I'm like, what do? I got to wait the 4 weeks, and I go get another bag. Well, I put another bag down. I still have fungus. I still have red thread. But now I start seeing like the brown patch starting to come around now. So I put another fungicide down, the same thing from Scott's. I put that down. Well, what I didn't realize is if you keep putting the same exact fungicide, the same kind down over and over and over again, your grass is going to get immune to it, just kind of like us. You know, if we take the same medicine over and over again, we get immune to it, and next thing you know, it does nothing for us. So it's the same situation. It gets used to it. Well, I didn't know this. So I noticed after the third time I kind of figured this out. Well, the third time, Scott's had this new brand, and that this time I had to fertilize. So I bought this fertilizer that had fungicide in it, and I put that down. All had the same type of fungicide in it. Well, if I'd known this earlier, that I should have swapped off and done that Scott's fungicide, then the next one should have been a different brand, and then gone back to the same one. I would have been in better shape. But I didn't know these things. I had to learn it on my own. And that's where it got to today, where I know so much stuff because I just had to figure it out on my own within a year. So if you have a fungus on your grass, you just want to, what I would suggest is put a fungicide down in March. Put it down right away and let it be a preventative, so you will not get it. If you put that fungicide down, then you won't get it as a preventative. And I didn't know that. So that's what happens. But if I'd known that I could have put that down as a pre-emergent type per se, I would have been in better shape. But I didn't know that. So I'm trying to share my knowledge with you guys to let you guys know that Do not put the same exact fungicide down 3 times in a row on your grass, the same identical kind, because your grass will get immune to it. So you always want to, you could put that one down, like the Scots one, put a different kind down and go back to Scots. You could do that. But don't just do the Scots. You can't, you're not supposed to do that. But I would always suggest to put if you have red thread, you're always going to have red thread forever. So put your fungicide down in March, and that'll be a preventative for it to even get there, and you won't even get it, and just kind of stay on top of it from there. But because I had the fungus on the grass, it caused my grass to scar. And that's where you'll see some brown spots in my grass. That's the scarring of it. And it comes back, watering and fertilizer and whatever, it will come back. I have some brown spots because I had a weed that's called bent grass, and I sprayed it with a weed killer, and now those are brown. But my point being is just to stay on top of things, and the more you can learn, the better off you'll be. So when I would suggest that when you put your pre-emergent down for crabgrass, maybe put down your fungicide for that as well. Your fungicide, put that down, and now you have a preventative for both. And I can show you guys what the scarring of the fungus was, because it does not look good. And once you get these scarring in your head, you're going, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Is it because I'm overwatering? Am I underwatering? I have no idea. If you've never been through it, you have no idea. And that's what I had no idea. So I hired a consultant to come to my house, and I just had this little knowledge that I didn't know. Everything else I knew, but this little piece I didn't know. And usually you cannot hire somebody to just give you that information. You're going to hire them and have them put all this stuff down on your grass. Well, I didn't need that because I already knew everything. I just needed a consultant to come. So I hired this guy that was 30 years in the business, who worked at a golf course. He was the main guy at the golf course. He did everything, and then he went on his own and started a consultant business to help people out who had problems or didn't know how to get their grass green, and he consults them, and he'll write up a whole plan. He'll test your soil, do the whole nines. Very, very, very expensive, but it's very worth it if you don't know what you're doing. Luckily, I knew everything. I just had this small piece of the puzzle I didn't know. So I had him come to the house, and he looked at my grass. He goes, dude, your grass is amazing. It looks really good. And I go, thank you, I appreciate that, because I honestly thought it didn't look good. And I go, what is all this brown spots? Is it because I'm underwatering? Am I watering too much? Is it the fungus? What is it? And he goes, no, it's just the scarring from the fungus when you had it. And now it's just scarring of it, and it could probably use more water. And we tested the ground with a probe and realized that I had sandy loam. And that's how I learned how to do it, is different type of people's yards of what kind of loam they have. Loam, sandy loam, clay, etc. And that's how I learned that he said, you could water this all day, every day, and you don't have to worry about it because you have sandy loam. And the more I started watering, the better the grass started becoming. And if it wasn't for him, and it wasn't for the $180 an hour I spent, it was the best money I ever spent in my life, because it taught me that little piece of the puzzle that I was tearing my hair out. It taught me that part, and now I know everything that has to do with grass. I know what to do, how to do it, and it's not because he taught me, it's because I learned it all. But that little piece that I couldn't figure out, he taught me and showed me, and now I know what to do. So if you don't know certain things in your grass, just ask. Find somebody who's very knowledgeable and ask. I'm going to be honest. You could look on YouTube all you want, but the people on YouTube are not at your yard. They're not looking at your grass. They're not there with you. So you could look at other people's grass on YouTube and you say, well, oh my God, they got fungus too. I should try that. Right, but not every grass is the same. And what they're doing isn't always the best for you. So to understand your grass and what to do, you're going to hire just a consultant or somebody that's very knowledgeable to tell you what's going on with your grass, so then you could take care of that problem specifically. And that's how I figured it out, because I would search through YouTube for hours and hours trying to figure, I have fungus, this is how I should do it. but they didn't have what I had. They didn't have the scar, nobody tells you about the scarring or this or that, or nobody told me that I needed more water or, so it's all about who you got to get somebody there on the feet, boots on the feet, on the field to see what you have, to tell you what you need to know. So that's why I wanted to make a YouTube and explain the things that I learned within the 7 months to a year that I've learned my yard and everything else, and just try to break it down for people and explain to them the little parts that, not everybody on YouTube is going to tell you. They're going to tell you how they got their grass green, and this is how they did it. But just because they got their grass green that way doesn't mean that that's going to work for you. And I could bet my life on it because I tried it. Everybody's grass is going to work differently for the way that they do it. The guy that consulted kid in my house was like, dude, I tell nobody use Scott's products, nobody, because they're very expensive. But he goes, because your grass looks so good, I'm going to tell you to keep using it. And I never tell anybody. I've been doing this for 30 years. I tell nobody to use it, but keep on using it. And it just goes to show you that you don't know, right? You don't know. Guy done 30 years, been working at golf courses, pro golf courses, does his own consultative business, and he's telling you, use Scott's, when usually he tells people don't use it. So what might not work for the people will work for you, or might not work for you. It all depends. It's trial and error, and you're going to learn over time, and that's how I learn. So this is the scarring that I'm going to show you. So I hope you guys can learn from it, because in my head I thought it was brown patch, and I thought all these different things, and it wasn't. It just needed more water, and it went away. If you can, you'll see some of it. All the brown patches, all this, the brownie stuff is because of scarring. Minus these ones is because I put a weed killer because I wanted to kill some of the bent grass. But when you see some of the browning, it's because of the scarring of it. It will go away. Over time, it's going to go away. It just needs more water. Over here, it's very brown, but that's because it's not getting enough water. You just got to learn your grass and figure it out. I had fungus here and there. I had it all over the sides over here. In the front, I had it all over the front. It was not all over, but it was prominent in the front as well. And the browns that you see is because of the scarring of the fungus, and you could see it. I mean, other than where the dog pees, that's different. But you'll see, if you could see that brown tinge in the grass, that's the scarring of the fungus. It was over here. It was bad, and it just needed more water. Point being is that if you just listen and learn and take some consideration of what other people say, and just try doing things on your own. And if you need help, ask. You have to. If you can't do everything on your own. Nobody's that smart to understand problems. You got to ask, And I'm not scared to ask. I'm happy I spent that $180 an hour for him to tell me these things that you don't understand. It was eating me up. And all it took was a good hour for him to come and tell me, hey, this is what it is. This is what you got to do. And all he wrote down was like 4 or 5 things. My grass didn't need a lot. He was like, you're so knowledgeable that I really don't even need to tell you everything. And I was like, well, thank you. I just want you to tell me why this is brown and why it's this and why it's that. And he told me, and that's all I needed to know. And from that point on, I was off to the races, ready to go. So don't be scared to try different things, but just don't always listen to things on YouTube, because the people who are telling you about their grass, it's for their grass. Maybe they have Kentucky bluegrass. You don't have that. I know I don't have it. Kentucky bluegrass can rejuvenate really quickly for brown spots and spots like that. It could just fill right in. When you have fine fescue or tall fescue, it's not like that. And I didn't know that fine fescue does not do good in heat. It does not. It wants to just go dormant right away if you don't give it a lot of water. I didn't know that. I had no clue. But now I know that I have more fine fescue than tall fescue. But it wants water. It wants to, thrive. And if you don't have strong roots, it's going to go deep down looking for it, and it's going to go dormant. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to know your grass, the type of grass, your type of soil. You don't need to know the pH levels. People will tell you got to know your pH levels. Listen, you don't need to know your pH levels. I'm telling you from the truth, you don't need to, because the consultant that came to my house was like, you don't need to know that. Don't worry about that. He goes, you're at the threes or fours or whatever. I think it was like a 4 or 3 or 4. He was like, that's fine. He goes, as long as it's not like way below that. He goes, don't even worry about it. That's not the worry your problems. So, you just got to know certain things, and you'll understand. Just don't listen to everything you hear on YouTube, because it doesn't pertain to your grasp of what you're doing. You could take bits and pieces from different things and put it into your knowledge and figure it out. But just don't take what that person's saying and think that that's going to work on your grass, because it's most certainly not going to work. I mean, listen, if he has fine fescue like you have fine fescue, or if you have Bermuda grass or St. Augustine or whatever, then yeah, it might work for yours. But if he's in, North Carolina and you're in Massachusetts, well, you're definitely not going to have St. Augustine or whatever. You know what I mean? You're going to have a cooler turf, a tall fescue or fine fescue, unless they really put in like a Kentucky bluegrass, which some people do. It's a lot of money. And I'll never forget what he said to me. He said to me, he goes, fine fescue doesn't really get really, really green. And if you want a really, really green grass, kill all your grass off, put Kentucky bluegrass down, and you'll have green, really dark green grass. But you have to have a lot of money to do all of this. And he goes, if you have a lot of money, you'll probably have a really green grass. He goes, because it takes a lot of money to get it to a really green grass. He goes, and he said to me, he goes, you're already halfway there, and you didn't have to spend that much money. He goes, so just keep on going with it. And I also, people assume that you need to put down sprays, like spray fertilizer, spray this, spray that. That's not true. You don't have to put a spray fertilizer down for every little thing. You watch YouTube, but you got to put a spray fertilizer for this, or a spray herbicide for that, or a spray fungicide for this. Yes, you could, but you don't have to. You could do granular works just as good. And even the consultant that came to my house said, he's like, dude, we use that stuff on the golf course, but you don't need to use that on regular grasses at your house. He goes, you don't need to do that. He goes, just use granular, and I'll tell you a couple things you can use, and just run with it. You don't need to go to the extreme. That's what I was trying to tell you with the spreader. You don't need to go to the extreme and buy the ride-on spreader that has an engine that it will spread and spray. Get it the hell out of it. You don't need all that. You just need the average stuff to get by, and you'll have a grass that looks like this. And I work my butt off to get it to look like this. But you know what? I did it by myself. And I'm extremely happy that it turned out this way. Because I know a lot of people in my neighborhood who pay to have their stuff done. And it looks, I don't know, not as good as mine, I would assume. So, I don't think it looks like this. So, I don't know, you guys be the judge, and you guys tell me what your insight is on some things. But I'm just trying to be honest, tell you the truth. So please like and subscribe and comment below, and tell me what you think, and any thoughts, or if you have any questions or whatever. Feel free to ask me. Subscribe, like, dislike, do whatever you want to do, but let's try to grow this into something crazy, and become something, a community that can all help each other out, instead of all trying to hate each other or wanting to have the best of the best, because I want to help people out in many different ways. So hope you guys love this. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it.